Well, welcome to another Money Morning Routine. Okay, so I am just sitting here. I wanted to get updated with tracking my spending. And so I am just getting my highlighting done. Okay, so now that I have all of my different highlighting done, let's go ahead and look at the bills that have come out and make sure that they're on my budget. So James's allowance for $50 has come out. So I'm going to write that down. My paycheck has been deposited. The other two are sinking funds that I know I'm going to be using in February. So my house insurance for $4,400 and my car insurance for $1,088. Let's see. So Hulu, has that come out? It has not come out, which it's the 5th is when that come out. So the only other one, Spotify, I have written down. Okay, perfect. And then I got gas, so I wrote that down there. Another thing I needed to do is get updated with my cash spending. I did go and get food. So we got a Walmart receipt here. And so let's go ahead and count how much cash I have left. And if you saw my Instagram yesterday, you know I got some fives back. $7.76. So we'll go ahead and write that down on my envelopes. So on my Walmart receipt, you can see I spent $83.32, but I round up. So minus 84. I went to Walmart yesterday. Actually, I made a late night run. And you would have saw that on my Instagram. Oh, so Walmart. Okay, so leaving me $77.6. Now, I had a bunch of fives in here. So I'm completing the $5 challenge. And I save all the fives that I come across. And usually that's like in this exact scenario. I'm saving the change that I got back yesterday from spending my cash at the store from my food envelope. So that's usually how I fund my $5 challenge. So 5, 10, 15. All right, so now we have to write that down, put my cash back in here. So we need to write that down. So today is 2/5. It's a $5 challenge minus 15. Okay, that leaves me $7.61. Now, so I'm going to put these in my $5 challenge jar. That's where those are going. I'm going to scan this receipt into my Fetch Reward. That's where that's going. And now we need to write that down on the expense tracker itself. I get asked a lot, and I explain this a lot. I get asked, why do I track the balance, the spending here and on my expense tracker? So I write it down on my cash envelope because this is what I need when I'm spending my money in that moment. So at any given time in my life, I can whip out my food envelope and I know exactly at that time, in that moment, I have $761 left to spend in this category. Having that knowledge allowed me to make better spending decisions in the moment, because I'm able to see the consequences of my spending. I'm able to handle, right, actual cash, and my budget becomes more tangible. That's the benefits of the cash envelope method. Once the cash is gone, you can physically see that it is gone. No more spending. So I track the balance of my cash that I have for this category, which is food, right here on my envelope. The reason I also track it on my expense tracker is because this book is what I use to close out my budget. So this is for just transactional purposes. So 2/4. All right, so now my food spending, my cash spending is fully updated for the day. Another thing I wanted to share with you, remember yesterday I said, hey, I still needed to make my online transfers for my budget. So because I'm debt-free, I'm able to throw more of my discretionary income towards investing in savings. And the investments that you see on my budget, like my TOD, this is my TOD stands for Transfer on Death. And this is a non-retirement brokerage individual account for me. It's invested. I put $100 a month in there. I invest $100 a month in there like clockwork, same day, same amount, same funds. This is called dollar cost averaging. Okay, this is an investing strategy that helps mitigate some of that risk and kind of evens out the ups and downs of the market over long-term periods. The next investment you see is my joint account. We invest $700 a month like clockwork into that account. It's a joint account with me and my husband. It's a brokerage non-retirement account, investing the same amount on the same day into the same funds like clockwork, dollar cost averaging. I do not do any investing strategies that try to time the market or make a quick buck. I'm a long-term investor, which means I am expecting long-term growth. Okay, I'm not going to be touching these accounts. I'm not going to be liquidating them. They're just basically sitting there. Now, what I do want to mention about investing, if you are new to investing or you have interest in starting and you want to start investing, I am holding an Investing for Beginners weekly series. It's a 5-day series to help you jumpstart and get started with investing. And I'm doing that in my Instagram subscription. It's only $4.99 a month. I share a bonus episode over there every single month. We do weekly series every single month. We've done soap making. We've done sourdough. We've done sinking funds. We've done savings goals. We've gone over the budget by page. I mean, we spend a full week doing a deep dive into a specific topic. I also share behind the scenes things that I'm doing on my homestead, gardening, canning, preserving. So this month we're doing Investing for Beginners. Next month, our weekly series is Children and Money. So we're going to be talking about how do you teach your children or child about money lessons that are going to set them up to be successful when they are ready to start handling their own money. That's going to be happening in March. So if you're interested in that, head on over to my Instagram. I do have a subscription button there on my bio. I'll also put a link to that subscription in the caption of this video so you have access to that. Okay, so I'm also updated with my bills. I'm updated with my spending. Now let's go over, I did mention, like I said, okay, let's go back here. See how my actual column is filled out on my budget? That means I completed all of my online transfers. Okay, these are all of my different savings goals and sinking funds. I have a lot going on. Did I have this many savings goals and sinking funds when I had debt? No, because my priorities were different. Where you budget your money, how you budget and manage your money is dependent on your values and goals in that season of life that you're in. For me, when I was paying off debt, I had one sinking fund, and that was Christmas. Now that I have no debt, I'm able to save for other areas that are going to be popping up later on with my expenses. So we have Chris, James's, Dante's birthday, back to school, Christmas, wedding anniversary, sports for my son, my oldest son, property taxes, Costco, Disport, house maintenance, car maintenance, 2 different trips, Yellowstone and Arizona this year, house insurance. I set $30 aside for James for anything that's outside of school shopping or back to school. I save $100 a month for our hay purchase, car insurance. I'm in the middle of increasing my pet fund right now. And then I have a $50 savings account that's for my homestead, anything related to my homestead, whether that be the farm or any of the animals or my garden. All of those are in different savings accounts at my credit union. And I get asked a lot, Miko, how are you able to have so many different savings accounts? Well, I bank at a credit union because it's member owned and they don't have to pass around so many fees. I'm able to have as many savings accounts as I want without minimums and without fees, which allows me to really have a different savings account for different purposes in my life. If you have a savings account that's just called for a rainy day or saving for something for later, it's not clear enough. It's not descriptive enough. You have to give it a dedicated purpose. Why do we give our savings a purpose? Because if we go to spend it and it's not for that purpose, we know what we're taking away from, right? Consequences and the trade-offs we are making become crystal clear. It makes it harder for us to go ahead and pull the trigger to spend it. It's helped me from that one simple shift. Giving my savings a purpose has completely changed my mindset with my savings. If I go to pull, say, from my house maintenance fund, because I want to buy a Patagonia jacket or an expensive pair of shoes, and I see that's the only place I have my money, right? I know that, okay, if I spend $350 on this Patagonia jacket, I might not be able to afford something that breaks in my house later on, whether my microwave goes out or my oven gets busted or my furnace goes out. And trust me, all of these things have happened in just the 3 years that I've lived in my house. Okay, things are bound to break and need replaced, especially if you're in an older home. I suggest your house maintenance fund be a lot bigger. But because my house is relatively new, but it even goes to show I had to replace my furnace and my house is only 7 years old. So I know I might not be able to afford something breaking in my house. Am I willing to risk that? No. For a Patagonia jacket, no. Do you see how giving it a purpose makes you ask the question, if I spend the money now, what am I giving up later? Huge, huge mindset shift. If you are not giving your savings a purpose, try it today. See what happens. Okay, so everything else is done. I have March. Guess what? I need to start working on getting my March calendar completely filled out so I can start March budget, and that is my Monday morning routine.